Hey friends, it's Marie here. I'm back again. I am creating with the Spellbinders Glimmer Kit for the month of May. Now this Glimmer Kit is gorgeous. It's got this big thanks that you can glimmer onto the front of your card and then add some little floral pieces to it. I've already made one card with this kit. I'm going to go ahead and make a second one. This time I am just using the sentiments in the kit, not the florals, and I'm going with sort of a bold modern type background design. I'm doing another color block card. Now I've already done one on my channel recently, but I think this technique is really fun, really easy. All you need is some ink and some tape or something to mask off sections of your background. Now, if you find you have trouble coming up with a design for your color block background, what I like to do is just do a quick internet search for color block design or color block art, and there will be so many different examples of color combinations, designs, different ways that you can build a color block pattern, and you just kind of take those ideas and transfer them onto your card front. So all you need to do is just tape off different areas of your background, and I'm using just some plain blue painter's tape. Now, after I do my ink blending and peel off my tape, I like to take a baby wipe and just wipe that extra ink off of my tape. That way, when I transfer my tape, start doing another section, that ink is not going to get into the next section that I'm ink blending, and I'm going to keep my colors clean. I'm going to have crisp edges and no ink transferring where I don't want it to go. I want a clean transition from one color to the next. So I'm using some pink here and some blues. I'm going to be using a few different shades of blue. And for that pink and this blue that I'm going to do here, I'm using my Tsukineko premium dye inks. Now these inks are really nice. I'm trying out some different inks lately, and I'm trying some of these little Tsukineko small ink cubes. I love these inks because when you ink blend them on and you let them sit for a little bit, they really smooth out. You get a really smooth color, and it almost looks like pattern paper or paper that's pre-printed because the color ends up being so smooth, and I really love that. You get really nice crisp edges too, as long as your tape is taped down and you follow those guidelines. So when I'm peeling off my tape, what I like to do is take the tape, fold it back on itself like you see me doing here, and just slowly peel it off of my card base. I don't want any ripping because you're working so hard to make a beautiful background, and ripping it is the last thing you want to happen. So I'm just trying to carefully peel off that tape. Now before I even use my tape, I take that piece of tape and I run it on my sleeve or on my pant leg or something just to get some of that sticky gone. You want it a little bit less sticky. You still want it to adhere to your cardstock, but you don't want it to be so sticky that it's going to rip when you peel it up. So having it a little bit less sticky is always going to be a better idea. Now I wanted to put another color of blue on my background, and I only had one Tsukineko blue, so I'm going to switch over to a distress ink. Distress inks are also one of my go-to ink blending inks because we all know that distress ink works great for ink blending. We all have our distress inks. I have the whole set, and I have not jumped over to the oxides yet. I hear that the oxides are really great for ink blending, and I'm contemplating it. I just haven't made that jump yet. But I will say I've had my mini distress ink cubes for about 5 years now, and they are still going strong. So it's a great investment if you don't want to jump into those oxides. Your regular distress ink still works great, and you can get away with those as well. So this is all of the colors that I'm going to put on, and I wanted some sort of wonky little dots on those white areas, and I didn't have any stamps for that, but you can use a pencil eraser, which is some kind of rubber probably, so it kind of acts like a rubber stamp, and my eraser is pretty well used. It's not a perfect circle, but it still gives me some really fun irregular dots, and I think it looked really fun on each side of my background. So I used some VersaFine black ink really nice crisp black ink. You want to let that dry a little bit because it is a pigment ink. And now I'm just going to layer on my glimmer plates. So you can see I have that big thanks. I think it goes really well with the modern theme of this card. And I'm also putting a supporting sentiment along the side there, and I'm just going to tape them together with some painter's tape and just kind of make sure I have them where I want them. And then you can peel that tape back and kind of just fold over your glimmer plates and then put your foil behind it. So that tape is kind of acting like a hinge so that you can peel your plates back, get your foil in place, and then peel your plates over the foil. So you're going to get your sentiment and your glimmer right where you want it. That tape is going to keep it in place. And you can plan out where you want a glimmer, go ahead and glimmer, and it's going to be exactly where you wanted it put. So I left my plates on my glimmer platform a little too long, and it kind of over foiled. You can see I've got some foil in different areas here. You can take care of that problem by taking a sand eraser and just gently rubbing it away. You really don't need to use much pressure at all. I'm being very light, trying not to erase any of that color that I ink blended, but you can get rid of some of that over foiling just by rubbing it off with a sand eraser. And if you don't have a sand eraser, you can always try scraping it off with your fingernail, or maybe try a regular eraser. You don't need much pressure at all. I did try to go over the supporting sentiment, and it just wasn't looking the way I wanted it to. It was erasing some of that sentiment. So I did a quick fix by just glimmering a little strip, popping it up on foam adhesive, and that finished the card. So you can always fix those little mistakes if you get a little bit creative. So I hope you enjoyed the card. I hope you enjoyed another look at the Spellbinders Glimmer Kit for the month of May. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, comment, share, tap the bell for notifications, and just do all the things. I'll catch you guys next time. Have a great day. Bye.